Hello and welcome back. This is another 7th grade math video, and in this video we'll be looking at equivalent ratios. Okay, so we're going to be looking at these two ratios, 10 to 20 and 1 to 2, to determine if they are equivalent. And the way that we can do this is there's two different ways we can do this. Both of them, I advise, is to rewrite them in fraction form. So as you remember, we can write ratios in three different ways. We can write number colon number. We can write number to number, or we could write number over number, like a fraction. So the easiest way for us to tell if these are equivalent, or the two different ways that we can do it, involve rewriting them in their fraction form. So I'm going to rewrite 10 to 20 as 10 to 20 and 1 to 2 as 1 to 2. So now here are the two different ways we can do it. In fact, I'm going to duplicate this so that I can show you the second way right after I show you the first way. The first way is to see and compare the numerators and the denominators, or the top numbers and the bottom numbers, to see if there is a constant between them. A constant is a number you can multiply or divide the same number on the top and the bottom to get something equivalent. You've seen something very similar to this when you are dealing with fractions and simplifying fractions. Okay, so we're going to go from 20 to 2. And we would do that by dividing by 10. So we would put divide by 10 here and divide by 10 here. If 10 divided by 10 is indeed 1, then yes, these ratios are equivalent. Now here's a second way we can tell. We can do cross multiplication like this and like this. If we cross multiply and we get the same number, then these ratios are equivalent. So 20 times 1 is equal to 20. 10 times 2 is also equal to 20. So since I cross multiplied and I got the same number, that means that yes, these ratios are equivalent. So either way that you do it, you're going to end up with the answer of yes. Here is our next example. We're going to take the ratios 2 to 1 and 13 to 10, and we're going to try to figure out if they're equivalent. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite them in their fraction form, 2 to 1 and 13 to 10. Well, I know if I wanted to go from 1 to 10, I would have to multiply by 10. And if I multiply by 10 up here, I'd end up with 20, not 13. So I'm leaning towards a no on this one. The other way I can tell is I could try to cross multiply and see if I get the same number. 2 times 10 would be 20, and 1 times 13 would be 13. So I got different numbers, which means that the final answer, either way that you got there, is that no, these two ratios are not equivalent. Okay, here is our next example. We have some choices on the left, and we're going to determine which of those ratios on the left is equivalent to the ratio 2 to 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write 2 to 1 up here, and then I'm going to take one from these choices at a time and just double check to see if they are equivalent. So the first one is 28 to 4. Well, I know to go from 1 to 4, I'd have to multiply by 4. But if I multiply the top by 4 as well, I should get 8, not 28. So that means this one is not correct or not equivalent. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this and move on to the second choice. The second choice is 24 to 12. So to go from 1 to 12, I need to multiply by 12. So 1 times 12 and 2 times 12. If 2 times 12 is indeed 24, which it is, that means that yes, these are equivalent. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that one. Now it said that there might be more than one, so I'm going to have to check the third choice as well. 16 to 8. To go from 1 to 8, I would have to multiply 1 times 8. And if I multiply this times 8 up here, I do indeed get 16. So this one is also equivalent. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to try to find all the ratios on the left side that are equivalent to 6 to 4. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite 6 to 4. Now, in the last one, what I did is I just kind of used a constant to try to see if they were equivalent. For this one, I'll use the cross multiplication to test out the choices. Our first choice is 3 to 2. Well, 6 times 2 is 12. and 3 or 4 times 3 is also 12. So this one, 3 to 2, is equivalent to 6 to 4. So let me erase that and we'll check one of the other choices. Let's put 9 and 6 here, 9 to 6. Well, 6 times 6 is 36, and 4 times 9 is also 36. So this one is also equivalent. I'm going to circle that one. All right, let's check that last choice. And that one is 54 to 36. Okay, these are a lot bigger numbers than we had before. So let me go ahead and do a little side math over here. Now, this one might be a good one to just look for a constant, but that's okay. Let's do 4 times 54, and that gives me 216 when I multiply that. Then I'll do 6 times 36, and I also end up with 216. So that one is also equivalent. So all three of these ratios are equivalent to 6 to 4. Okay, here is our last one for today's video. We again have some choices on the left, and we're going to check to see if these are equivalent to the ratio 15 to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and write 15 to 3 here, and then I'm going to write 35 to 7 here. Okay, so first I'm going to check and see if there's a constant. I can't really multiply 3 times anything and get 7, at least not a whole number. So that one's going to be a little difficult to do that way. So instead, I think I'm going to use the cross multiplication. So off to the side, I'm going to do 15 times 7, and that's going to give me 105. And then I'm going to do 3 times 35, which also gives me 105. So that means this ratio is equivalent to 15 to 3. So even though I wasn't able to multiply 3 times something and get 7, doesn't mean it wasn't equivalent. Oh, let me erase this one. Okay, next up would be 14 to 5. So again, multiplying 3 times something to get 5 with the whole number is not going to work. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the cross multiplication. Off to the side, I'll do 15 times 5, and I will get 75 when I do that. Then I'll do 3 times 14, and it turns out to be, 42. Okay, so that is not equivalent. So we're going to cross that one off. Okay, last one to check. Let's check 60 to 12. Now this one we might be able to use the constant method to find it because we can do 3 times 4 to get 12. So let's check and see what 15 times 4 is and see if it's 60. 15 times 4 is indeed 60. Awesome. So this one is also equivalent. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video soon.